Penny Lee Deer again, continuing me reading what I'm about to say on Friday morning, 10 a.m., Virginia Tech. We're picking up with the 1970s. The year 1975 was a period of profound social, political, and economic shift. The Vietnam War had ended in April with the fall of Saigon, signaling the loss of thousands of lives and the end of the draft. This was a growing need for women recruits. The Army activated 2 battalions, we call them WACs, Women's Army Corps. It was number 17 and number 18 at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Previously, these type of units would have been at Fort McClellan, Alabama. I became one of those recruits, marking the beginning of my role as a trailblazer in military service. Growing up in rural New York, I'd love to hear your stories, where you came from and how you wanted to join the service. We'll take a little break for that. I was raised in a small town nestled in the Catskill Mountains where traditional roles were strongly upheld. The population was about 600 at the time. My high school graduating class was a modest 36 students. Most of the young women in the community chose to start families right after high school or perhaps go to college, with the expectation that they might marry one of the local farm boys. That's a pretty small pool to choose from, or maybe go to another county. Despite being told at a young age that I wasn't college material due to the struggle of learning and writing comprehension, I was determined to create a better future for myself. I later discovered that my difficulties were due to a learning disability, not the lack of intelligence. This realization would come into later, after my retirement, after I've done 20 years in the service. I was a middle child in the family of 5, and 2 of my siblings joined the military as well, one Air Force and one's also retired Army in the medical field. My dad served stateside during the Korean War. Although I considered alternative paths, such as the Peace Corps and or the Marines, a different branch, I ultimately decided on the Women's Army Corps during my senior year in high school. So I was on the delayed entry program in April 7th, 1975, before the end of the Vietnam War. Little did I know that decision would be part of living history and pave the way for future generations of women in the military. On a separate video that I've already done, I talked about basic training and I talked about advanced individual training. So I'm going to continue on. Physical training in the military. I'm sorry, we would have taken a break there. You understand that? Okay. When I was in basic training, we dressed like young ladies. We had a blouse that had to be ironed. There was shorts underneath, but it was a wraparound skirt with bobby socks and tennis shoes. We marched on to the parade field, and you did not disrobe until, or you did not start your calisthenics until you disrobed. You folded your skirt beside you until your calisthenics were done, and then you re-robed and then returned to your barracks. We did not go around looking like a bunch of hussies. We can stop here and take a discussion on what your physical training looked like and what was the standards. How were they different from your male counterparts? Did you find restrictions? One of the other things that we did, female push-ups, meaning we were on our knees and we only bent our arms up until 1978 at least. Anybody else fall into that category? Okay. I think I'll break there.